All right, welcome everyone to this pick a card reading. My name is Gabby Turner. If you're new to my channel, I'm very glad to have you. Let me know what it is that pulled you in and made you want to watch this particular reading. And if you're a returning viewer and a subscriber, I'm also so glad to have you. I'm also curious, what led you to want to subscribe to my channel? So in today's reading, we're going to be asking about why your person fell for you. What is it about you that led them to fall in love with you? Or if you don't want to think of it in terms of falling in love, just what led them to become attracted to you. Once you've made your decision, you can find your timestamp in the description below. So you can then go directly to your reading while you're down there. I would like it if you wanted to go ahead and sign up for my newsletter as well. It's going to be, the next edition of that will be coming out at the end of this month, at the end of June 2020. It comes out 4 times per year at the start of each of the 4 seasons. And there are going to be important discounts and freebies in there, as well as some wisdom. So I'd be glad to be able to keep in touch with you via that newsletter if you'd like. All right, so whenever you're ready, I will see you at your reading. All right, welcome to everybody who chose reading number 1. These are from the cover cards we're using are from this deck, the Adinkra Oracle cards deck. And this one says, Ram's Home, a symbol of strength and humility. Strength predicts the triumphant conclusion to a major life problem, situation, or temptation through strength of character. It is a very happy card if you are fighting illness or recovering from injury. So I'm going to set this over here while we do the reading, but I feel like just to start off with, one of the things that impressed this person the most about you was just your strength of character. They felt like you are someone who is able to overcome significant adversity in your life, whether that is related to a health problem or something else, some sort of major life problem, or maybe multiple major life problems. They've just seen your strength of character and being able to overcome something difficult. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have experiments. Atlantis and transparency. We have a lot of cards to go through in this reading. I wanted to use a lot of different decks, so we'll just see how this all plays out here. But starting out with the Oracle of the Mermaids cards. Yeah, I feel like they see you as someone who's experienced cruelty in life. Maybe there are moments even when you have, gone over to the quote-unquote dark side in certain moments because you've been so surrounded by it. But they see in you someone who continues to rise above it. It's like every time you face one of these difficult situations, and maybe you've attracted lots of very toxic people in your life. That's what this card makes me think of. And your person is aware that you've experienced a lot of toxic people in your life, but they just feel like your response to that is to develop yourself so rapidly. It's almost like you see the potential of people to really fall to the dark side, for lack of a better phrase, and it makes you so it's like it gives you this surge of like, wow, I really don't want to be that. So I'm going to propel myself away from that type of, toxic, self-interested, maybe narcissistic type of way of being. They see you as someone who just really has such a strong interest in being truly caring and loving and just really trying to reach for your highest self. They also see you as someone that's very honest and transparent. So like if you have done things that were wrong yourself, you're honest about it. You're honest about your shadow side. You don't try to hide the fact that you have maybe done things wrong in the past. And this person really appreciates that about you. And I feel like they can see that that's part of the reason, or like a very major part of why you continue to sort of rapidly develop, and you're just an excellent human being. Okay. Now these cards that I'm using right now are from a homemade deck. There are lots of different, you can see in here, maybe. Anyway, there are a lot of different cards in this deck. And if you sign up for my newsletter, there's a link to it in my description box. If you haven't already, you'll get this for free at the end of June when my June edition of the newsletter comes out. So you can just get it printed out on cardstock. I did this for less than $3 at FedEx Kinko's. So let's just see. And it has lots of different physical characteristics in it that people could have. All of the 12 signs are represented, and also personality characteristics. So this person, yeah, they definitely think that you are a very emotional person. What does tech savvy have to do with that? Let me get a clarifier here. I've got so many cards in this reading already, and yet I'm going to be pulling more. I mean, I feel like with Tech Savvy and Gemini together, like they feel like you utilize maybe every tool available to yourself to sort of process and dissect and overcome your emotions. You really care about people. I feel like even people who are toxic to you, you genuinely care about them. There might be some toxic people in your family as well. If you have tattoos or piercings, they like that. They think that you're someone who is popular and well-liked, but you're also like, you can come on very strong, you know, like, let's see here. Okay, Cancer and Tech Savvy. Okay, maybe they see that there's some things that happen to you emotionally and in your close personal connections with friends, family, you know, people who you love and care for. Sometimes they see you as someone who maybe processes those thoughts and feelings on the internet. Maybe you write things on the internet, or that they can see you sort of processing those emotions. And somehow they like the fact that you do that. Like maybe you're more likely to talk about it online than you are to talk about it to the actual person. Why would they be attracted to that? They sort of like see, there's sort of like a childishness in that they can sort of appreciate, because they know that you're a very strong person. And if you want to address someone directly about something, you can and will. But I feel like they see that you find ways maybe to like express yourself. It's just sort of endearing to them. You know, I think this is what it is. Whenever you talk about your emotions in a kind of a public way online, they appreciate that because you are such a strong person, and there's something about the way that you express all of your emotions. It makes you seem more childish in a way that's sort of vulnerable and endearing. Not childish in a negative way, but in a way where they feel very tender towards you because they can see your vulnerability. Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out, but I think I finally did. Yeah, they feel like you're someone who's always going to have... You're the type of person who has lots of old friends, you know. You're popular in a sense, but it's not like you are always necessarily having to be in the mix, in the middle of things. You can be like this off to yourself, but there are always people who are just very loyal to you. You're someone who you have long-term friendships. Like the friendships that are most important to you are sort of long-term. Yeah, but you are probably more of an introvert. I was getting that feeling already. But even though you have such a strong personality, and maybe you can come across as bossy, arrogant, or like a know-it-all, or it's my way or the highway type of a thing, there are people who just really appreciate your strength of character. You don't allow any experience to pass by you without learning from it. And that's why so many people appreciate you, including this person. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, they definitely see you as very guarded. And I think that there are just moments when, like we talked about before, when you do, even though you come across as guarded, there are these moments where you sort of reveal your innermost feelings. Sometimes maybe you don't even realize the degree to which you're doing it, but they find that that is so beautiful. And again, the spiral, just like this Atlantis card, is all about like development, spiritual development, personal development. You know, they're just very aware of you being that type of person who's always becoming a better human being. I know I screwed things up, and honestly, I have no idea how to fix it. Now, I threw these message cards in, so this might have less to do with why they fell for you than it just does some of their feelings about the connection. Although they might think that you feel this way as well. If the two of you are in separation, they still feel your energy a lot, and that's part of it also. Like they, you know, that's part of why the flame keeps burning. Yeah, I feel like this is probably a situation of separation, but maybe not. You know. Yeah, they definitely there. This is someone who feels like there's some healing needed in the connection. Let's see. We have the Queen of Spades from these Sherlock Holmes playing cards. It is a pity he did not write in pencil. As you have no doubt frequently observed, the impression usually goes through a fact which has dissolved many a happy marriage. There may have been some words that were written that either this person wishes they could take back, or that they think that you would probably want to take back if you could, or maybe both. Because it's a pity he did not write in pencil. Pencil, of course, you can erase. But there are words that have been spoken between the two of you that cannot be taken back. With the Queen of Swords, I think they also view you as someone who's very intelligent, or the Queen of Spades. I feel like, you know, this is maybe a situation that feels like it has dissolved at this point, but there are still feelings, and there's still this sort of spiritual connection, energetic connection where you still feel each other. In my inmost heart, I believed that I could succeed where others failed, and now I had the opportunity to test myself. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason this person was attracted to you as well, is because they knew it would be difficult to succeed with you. They had seen other people maybe try to be with you, but you are so guarded and you're such a strong personality. You're not just going to let anybody in, and you're very emotional. You know, you've had this series of experiences where you've attracted toxic people, and that might contribute to you being very guarded. But part of the attraction to you was like this feeling of like, well, maybe I can succeed in loving this person and getting them to open up when other people have not been able to accomplish that. So you felt like an emotional sort of challenge to them in a way. The more outre, what the hell does that mean? The more outre and grotesque an incident is, the more carefully it deserves to be examined. Though this person really loves to examine you. This is like the Page of Swords, I believe, this card. I don't use playing cards a lot, but yeah, obviously this person likes to observe you. And not that they think that you are grotesque, but there's something about this situation that has been grotesque, or something about your life that's been very dark and disturbing, and that interests them. They feel like you deserve to be carefully examined and observed, because you are, you know, you should be fragile and just broken at this point because of all you've been through. You've been through some dark, grotesque situations, and this person's aware of it. And but it makes them more interested, because they're like, wow, instead of becoming fragile and broken, you're actually very strong, and they want to understand more about that. It makes them very intrigued about you. Yeah, they see you as someone who's very determined, probably very independent. They might see you as well as someone who is able to strike out on your own and create a life for yourself. You're probably someone who prefers to work autonomously, or maybe even be self-employed or have your own business. And they find that attractive. But at the very least, they see you as just very strong, and you're determined to make decisions for yourself. They see you as wanting to accomplish something and continue to improve yourself, improve your skills and abilities. You're a talented person, but you're always wanting to explore life very fully, to learn as much as you can about life and about yourself. And they just see you as having this kind of like emperor energy, like you're just in control of your life. You are the one who gets the last say-so about your life. So they are attracted to that quality in you as well. I'm probably going to have to pull some clarifiers for these cards. Oh, I've got some tarot in here as well. Okay, bored. I think this person has been sort of maybe bored with their own life. And it's almost like they're just waiting for time to pass. This person themselves has been very disgusted with their own life and bored with life. And they feel like you're aware of it somehow, and that maybe you look down on them for being like that. And for some reason, that's attractive to them, the fact that you would look down on them. Because it's like okay, so this is the way this person is interpreting you. They feel like, like as we've already said, you've been through so much, you've overcome it, and it's almost like you're a little bit impatient with them, or this is how they're seeing you, that maybe you're impatient with them, that they can't just get over this boredom and disgust that they have with life. Because you're like, listen, look how strong I am. This is the second time the Nine of Wands has come up. This is, I believe this is related in astrology to Moon and Sagittarius, but it's, like, you have such an emotional strength because your past has given you so many opportunities to learn spiritual lessons, and you don't shy away from those spiritual lessons. This person kind of does try to shy away from those lessons, and they feel like you're aware of that. They feel a little bit judged by you. But at the same time, they feel that you as well feel very exposed sometimes in your own personal journey. That maybe, I don't know. And also, like, you've been very open perhaps about how you feel towards them, to the point that maybe it has been embarrassing to you. Like you may have made it just very obvious that you have feelings for them, and they saw that may have led you to be embarrassed a little bit. There's a lot going on here, but I feel like this person is bored and disgusted with life, bored and disgusted with themselves. They feel like you are judgmental of them for not just kind of like learning your lessons and gaining strength the way that you do. But even though you feel judgmental about them, you still care. And so that's part of what makes them fall for you as well. There is this sort of like, your feelings are sort of long-lasting as well. You have very stable feelings for them. And maybe that makes them feel safe in a way, because they feel that you're capable of loving even the less savory aspects of who they are. That's what it is. They feel this sense that you can love them even despite their shadow. And I feel like they do the same for you. I don't think this person would want you to be embarrassed about the fact that maybe you've revealed a lot about your emotions and it's made you feel too exposed or vulnerable. Perfect match. Yeah, so I mean, part of it is just that they can't imagine anyone else being a better match for them than you. So congratulations, you've gotten your and everyone else's wish. This is an auspicious sign that a healthy, authentic relationship is either here or on its way. This is the sort of relationship where you don't have to compromise, settle, sell out, or otherwise be a non-you. This is a relationship anchored in truth and love that neither party will have to hide their farts from. Smells like a special duo, yeah. It is anchored. It's anchored and solid. They know, even though it was feeling earlier like there's some sort of separation here or that something hasn't worked out and there would be things that would need to be healed if anything was to happen here going forward. But at the same time, like, yes, they feel like you would love them even when they are less than perfect. And they have that love for you as well. I think both of you have a hard time believing that you're worthy of that love, though. Let's see. Yeah, magnifying glass. I mean, this person just feels like they want to know every detail about you, and that's what makes them know that they have significant feelings, is that they can't stop thinking about you. They can't sort of stop examining and trying to, figure you out more. They feel like you have such a big, beautiful heart. But at the same time, you have this big, beautiful heart, but if someone wrongs you, you will punish them intensely. You might have a very strong streak of anger as well. But they feel like, you're very self-protective in that way, but they also see that you're like a mama bear. You're protective of the people you love. And so, yes, you can whip out that anger and punish people, if they wrong you or your loved ones. But in a way, they see this as a show of your heart, because it is about, more often than not, protecting the ones you love. Yeah, they just felt so blessed to have you in their life. You inspire them with this sort of sense of hopefulness. Again, they do see that you're very strong, but you're strong and also gentle at the same time. It's like you can be sort of a tough love type of person, and they like that. You have inspired a lot of jealousy in them, so there might be some toxic energy that they've brought into this as well, because they had maybe some strong jealousy, like I said, but also there's just a very strong sexual interest in you. But the power of this attraction, the fact that you inspire such a strong degree of jealousy, is kind of what has made them aware that that their feelings were so significant. They feel like you are their true north. And we saw, that perfect match card before. Yeah, something here has been lost, but they don't want to be defeated, I think. Let me clarify here. They might not be sure if this would ever work out, They might feel like there's a strong possibility that it's just definitely over and that you've put the last nail in the coffin. But there's a feeling that even if that's the case, you're still like a sort of a true north. You're still like sort of a guiding star for this person. You help them to find their way in life. They see you as someone, whether with them or without them, you're going to find your own way in life. They don't want to be worried about this anymore. You know, they do worry about it. They do worry about maybe this is over for good, and it does cause worry and anxiety for them, but they don't want to be because they feel like you probably won't be. I mean, that's their perception, that you're probably just like, listen, I don't have time for this BS. You know, just like in the past when you've had to deal with toxicity and stuff like that, and you didn't put up with it. You learned how to let go of that and, you know, rise and develop yourself and become a better human being. I feel like they see you as kind of doing that now, like you've turned your back on them. And it's going to be very difficult to convince. The Queen of Swords is hard to convince. Once she's decided something, they may feel that you've already decided that you're over this. They don't want to be worried about this. They might still be considering the idea of convincing you or trying to explain to you, well, this is how it could work. You know, we could come together. We could create something together. Yeah, but they feel like you might still just say no and say, you know, like, my love is over. I don't have any more love to give you after all of this. But it's strange to me, like, even if that happened, this person would always still love you, you know? Let's get some final messages from them. I still can't believe you could ever really love me. Yeah. I mean, we got that message earlier because this person feels like you see their shadow so strongly, and maybe you've even pointed it out to them. Their flaws, their shadow, or whatever, like. But they can tell that you still love them, or have still loved them despite that. And it's like they're always going to love you. It's like, even if they can't be with you, there's always going to be this peacefulness in their heart that, like, you're out there somewhere and they still care about you. And they like that. They like the feeling that you give them in their heart to be able to love someone in that way. My family's opinion really matters to me. So there may have been issues related to this person's family that got in the way here as well. And what's their song to you? Bruno Mars, that's what I like. Okay. Jump in the Cadillac, girl, let's get some miles on it. Anything you want just to put a smile on you. You deserve it, baby. You deserve it all, and I'm going to give it to you. Gold jewelry shining so bright, strawberry champagne on ice. Lucky for you, that's what I like. Sex by the fire at night, silk sheets and diamonds all white. Lucky for you, that's what I like. I'm talking trips to Puerto Rico. Say the word and we go. You can be my flica. Girl, I'll be a flico, mamacita. I will never make a promise that I can't keep. I promise that your smile ain't gonna never leave. Bruno Mars, that's what I like. Any final thoughts here for this reading? I think that, you know, with this song, it could be that one of this person's love language might be giving gifts, like material generosity, but that might be an issue with the two of you as well, because that could be not what your love language is in terms of like receiving love. Maybe that's not the best way for you to receive love, or you just don't need that, because the Nine of Pentacles indicates someone who's very financially independent. You know, like this woman, she's already got all of her coins, but she's like, sure, if you want to come in and talk to me and connect with me, that's great. But like, I've already got my coins taken care of. That's not what I need. I need sort of like just a personal connection more. And it may be that the same is true in reverse. Maybe your way of giving love is not the way that they receive love best. So there could be an issue of just love languages here, yeah, that leads this connection to not be successful. But, you know, feelings and the way that things actually work out are two very different things. This person will always have these feelings for you regardless. And it seems like there are a lot of blocks You know, something that I learned in my most significant relationship was the fact that sometimes love is not enough. You know, I was very naive. I didn't recognize that, but sometimes there are these just compatibility issues, or you know, people have different things that they want or need to do with their lives that you know you wouldn't be able to do if you're with each other, or something like that. I think that that's what it is here. The love is definitely very strong, but it just may be that there are these other challenges here that despite the emotion, you know, it could be that your personalities, you know, you can still love someone, and your personalities or what you want out of a relationship or how you express love to each other are just so incompatible. But that doesn't mean that there's not love and affection. You know, this person will always care about you. They will always love you. So, I don't know. I had these Taco Bell sauce packets, and I wanted to use them as an oracle just because it's fun. So I'm going to do that now. See if there's a final message. Yeah, I can't let you go. And you're hot. They think that you're hot, and they can't let you go. So that's been obvious already in the reading. They're never going to stop caring about you. So... All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I feel like we answered more than just the original question, and I think that's a positive thing. So I hope that you do as well. I hope this helps you to understand your connection more than you have in the past. Please sign up for my newsletter. Just click on the link in my description box and take a second to put your email address in there. And you'll get freebies and discounts and wisdom when I send out my next newsletter at the end of June 2020. And that will come out, it comes out 4 times a year at the beginning of each season. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello to everyone who chose reading number 2. Just trying to get some good Palo Santo smoke going to clear the energy from the first reading. That first reading number 1 was very interesting, so I hope that this one as well will uncover as much information and insights as that one did. The card that you chose, this is from the Adinkra Oracle card deck, and it says this little symbol, I can't read that, but it says moon and star is what it means. A symbol of faithfulness and fidelity. Lovers, match made in heaven, twin flame soulmates, and soulful connections. So interesting. So why did this person fall for you? They just felt like you were like the perfect match. There was definitely a very spiritual, soulful connection, and they could tell that. Can tell that. So let's learn more about it here. Okay, we have endurance. Yeah, they felt like this might be a twin flame, or they might feel that it is if they're aware of what that means, or something like that. But they feel like this is a love that has a lot of endurance. Like this is a very lasting love. I feel like they definitely pick up on you vibrationally, you know, intuitively, psychically. Maybe they dream a lot of you, or they just have lots of psychic insights, or get lots of kind of intuitive messages about you. There's a very strong spiritual psychic connection for sure. And then Coral's wisdom is also about, you know, it says works that are created over great periods of time. And along with endurance, I feel like this person has been in love with you. And I'm just going to say in love. It isn't just an attraction, but they've been in love with you for a long time, and they just feel like it never goes away. You know, a lot of times with twin flames, there's a lot of difficult energies. But I don't feel that here so far. I mean, maybe that will come up as we get through this, but so far it just feels like it's so beautiful and loving, and it's a very strong, enduring love. They do see you sometimes as someone who can be sort of aloof and detached, but they like that about you. You're very philosophical. You have strong beliefs, strong opinions about things. Maybe you can be a little bit stubborn, but they also feel like you're just very beautiful. You are comfortable with yourself. They feel like you're sort of hippie or bohemian. Maybe you just go against the grain in some way, or you just have some sort of leanings in that way, and they are very attracted to that as well. Coming up next to Taurus, again, I was already feeling with that Taurus card, like maybe you have a way of dressing or presenting yourself that is more about comfort than it is about trying to be beautiful or fashionable or whatever, but it still comes across as very beautiful to them. Like they find it very attractive. But maybe for you, you're just mostly just trying to be comfortable, especially coming up to this. You're not trying to wear like designer clothes and stuff like that. You're just wearing what feels good to you, and they find it very appealing. I definitely get a lot of like touchy-feely energy here too, like maybe like a feeling like this person wants to hug you, even though you do seem sort of aloof and detached like this. They can see that underneath that you're just very delicate and fragile, and it just endears them to you. Ooh, long hair. So they might be very attracted to your long hair, or if you don't have long hair, it could just be that they find your hair in general to just be very beautiful. They think that you have very good self-esteem, and that's attractive to them as well. Emptiness. Interesting. Let's learn more about what does this mean in terms of... Now, this is from the Mystic Moon's Twin Flame Shadows deck, so this is a shadow attribute. I pulled one of these for each card, or one of these for each pile, because, you know, when you really love someone, you love them even though they have a shadow. We all have shadow elements, right? So what is it about emptiness? I feel like they sense that you have a lot of very deep emotions, but this aloofness and detached quality, they can tell that sometimes you try to disassociate from all of these very intense emotions that you have. Like, it's sort of like it makes them want to take care of you a little bit. Because they feel like maybe this is your way of coping, that you're someone who tries to detach at times from your more difficult emotions. And then at other times you just try to do everything on your own. And maybe that's a coping mechanism in order to do everything on your own. You're like, well, I can't just deal with all of these bullshit emotions that I have. I have to kind of like push those away. You may also be someone who sort of... they see you as maybe struggling with depression or melancholy, because to me this woman looks like she has sort of like a melancholic type of a feel to her. So maybe they feel like you're someone who just, you have to sort of like push that away a lot just to cope in life. And I feel like this person feels, for one thing, it makes it harder for them to sort of hold on to you and keep you present in your life, because you're always just trudging along, continuing. And they want to be able to be there for you and sort of alleviate your suffering so that you don't have to deal with this depression so much. But they also feel like, you know, like this man, he's on crutches. Like they feel like they have like they don't know how to, or they don't have the skill set or the ability to be there for you. But they're like, it doesn't matter because it seems like you keep trudging along anyway. It's not like you really need me, but I want to be there for you. Yeah, they feel like you're someone who is creating a solid foundation and a solid future for yourself, but you hold yourself aloof or distant from other people. It's almost like you resent it in a way when people try to help you out. But they find this attractive to you. And sometimes you're very cold. Maybe you're even hurtful. It's like almost like this person feels like almost like you don't want to be loved. But they're understanding that there's more to the story there. It's like if you've pushed them away in some way, that makes them more interested. So if this is like a twin flame thing, then I think we're starting to see maybe more of where the difficulty lies here. But let's look at some message cards from them. I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to. So yeah, they're very curious about you. I've never forgotten you, even though you think I have. So this could be someone from the past. And again, I get this feeling of endurance. Like this person has just been in love with you. I feel like, you know, going back to this card, it's like even if you haven't been together, their love is sort of like faithful to you regardless. Maybe they just felt like there was never an opportunity here because they always felt like you sort of gave the cold shoulder. I'm more affected than you know. This person cares way more than you are aware of. Okay, and these are from this Sherlock Holmes playing deck. So the Ace of Diamonds, which is like the Ace of Pentacles. I have never loved Watson, but if I did, and if the woman I loved had met such an end, I might act even as our lawless lion hunter has done. I think it's hard for this person to fall in love as well, but they clearly have. Their own feelings for you might have been sort of confusing to them along the way because they don't fall in love easily. But there's something, like they've seen that you've gone through something difficult that made them want to maybe hunt someone down. Like if they felt like someone had hurt you, it did inspire, and maybe that was the trigger, or maybe that was like the big thing that made them realize they were in love with you, because they're like, you know, if someone hurts you, I want to hurt them. There's that kind of feeling of retribution here. Nine of Hearts. It's quite exciting, said Sherlock Holmes with a yawn. A study in scarlet. I feel like this is picking up maybe some of the energy between the two of you. Like they see you as philosophical. We saw that before. But also aloof and detached. So maybe they can remember conversations that the two of you have had where you were excited. You said, oh, that's interesting or exciting, but it seemed like you were clearly not interested. And something about that difference in what you were saying, like maybe you were trying to be polite, but your energy came across as like, you're so boring or something. For some reason, that made them happy. The Nine of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. Well, we'll try to figure, I'm going to clarify that one. Let's just go ahead and do that before we pull the next one. Why would that make them happy? I think part of it is because they think that you're real, but that doesn't make sense because this is like your behavior is different from what you're saying. It makes them feel like they want to rise to the occasion more. Like they want to be wiser so that they do get your attention more. They might be attracted to someone who's just very philosophical, intelligent, who like thinks very deeply about things. Because I think with the Hanged Man, they think very deeply about things as well. But sometimes you're like, oh yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting insight. But they feel like maybe you're already like leaps and bounds above them in terms of your own understanding of things. So I feel like it makes them happy because it's a challenge that they like, that you're actually a little bit out of their league in an area that is very attractive to them. Yes, it turns them on. Yeah. Yeah, they feel like your insights are very strong. It's like it hurts them, maybe, but it hurts them in a good way. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me, but it's like they're talking about things that are important to them and that they find interesting and the way that they've thought about things or mulled things over. And when they tell you these things, they want you to be interested, and you are, I think, at some level, and you're responding politely, like, well, that's very interesting, you know. But at the same time, they feel like your thoughts are more elevated. Like the things that you're concerned about, they feel are probably more elevated or enlightened, or you have a more enlightened understanding of things than they do. So it crushes them because they want to be at that same level of enlightenment that you are. but it crushes them in a good way, because that's one of the things that they find very attractive in romantic partners, is someone who is very enlightened. So anyway, hopefully that made sense. And then we have the Queen of Diamonds, which is like the Queen of Pentacles. Perhaps when a man has special knowledge and special powers like my own, it rather encourages him to seek a complex explanation when a simpler one is at hand. Yeah, and maybe they felt like sometimes they over-explained, or they tried to be like maybe if this is a man, maybe they felt like they mansplained to you, and you were very patient and polite about it, but they could also tell that you maybe didn't like it at the same time. But somehow that's very attractive. It makes you seem more valuable to them. Like, yeah. So you also have the Strength card, the Hierophant, and the Judgment. So these are all major arcana. I just feel like this person kind of felt like this was a very high level connection, that if they were going to be with you at all, they wanted it to be like all or nothing, kind of. Like, if we're going to be together, it's going to be marriage. It's going to be to the end of our lives. This is going to be an unbreakable bond. It's like, if we can't have all of it, I don't even want to go there at all. Yeah, sometimes you come across as resentful, and it could go back to what I said before, that, like if they tried to kind of mansplain or something to you, that it may have made you resentful, and that made them sad because they didn't mean to come across that way. It also made them feel inadequate and like they wanted to become better. I feel like you've inspired them to be a better person, because they can tell sometimes you have sort of like a disdain for certain things that they've said or done. I don't think that you dislike this person at all. I mean, you're watching a reading for them, so probably not, but you just have very high standards. Yeah, this is interesting energy. Like, this person, it's like you inspire them to be enough for you. And it's not like you wouldn't already love them and that you're not already enough, but they just feel like they want to be more for you. They don't want it to be competitive. They don't want that. They don't want heartbreak. They don't want arguments. They just want to be as enlightened as you. And this is the second time the Hanged Man has come up, the Hanged One here. And I think you're both sort of represented here by the Hanged Man's energy, which is someone who seeks spiritual enlightenment and is willing to look at someone else's perspective on things as well. So they like that aspect. I feel like communication, conversations, dialogue, like having long philosophical talks, that's something that if they've had that with you, they really like that. And they don't want it to ever lead to an argument. It doesn't look like it has led to an argument. It's just there are moments when they feel like maybe you're a little bit skeptical about what they're saying or the way that they're saying it. But they don't want it to lead to any conflicts between the two of you. They just want both of you to sort of like help each other become more enlightened. And they like that aspect of this. We also have support. I look at the vast network of support in my life, and I'm reminded of what a superpower it gives me. At any moment, I can call on an army of top-notch people who want the best for me. Yeah, that's what they want this to be. They want both of you to really want the best, and that means for them sort of like enlightenment, which means I'm basically invincible. Take that, loneliness. Run for the hills, boredom. I'm sorry, what did you say to me? Pervasive, all-consuming anxiety? Damn right you didn't. Yeah, they feel like the two of you can be such a strong source of support to each other that if you were encountering anything difficult in life, you would be able to sort of back each other up. So they like that energy here, that potential. Yeah, they have a sexual desire for you. To me, rabbits are, there's definitely a symbol of fertility, and, they may also feel like you're someone that they could have children with. So that might be part of why they've fallen for you as well. They definitely, like I said before, I feel like this person, they would not want just like like, oh, let's be in a relationship for a couple years until it inevitably ends. So they're like, no, it's all or nothing. They want all. That's what they are hoping for, that it's like a forever till death do us part type thing. And they might also be attracted to the idea of having children with you, or feel that that would be part of the reason that they're attracted, is that they can see themselves having children with you. You're just like the woman for them, or the person for them. They like the fact that you're very independent. They might see you again as someone who needs a lot of time alone, but they love your attitude. You're very imposing, but it's like they can't look away from you. They're so intrigued. They just feel like you're so beautiful. They love your ambition. They love the way that you continue to develop yourself. They love that you take this higher perspective in life, and you just have this very lofty perspective. And I feel like they want to be that person who can solve problems for you, like be a support system to you in that way. Going back again to the Five of Pentacles, like they don't think that you need their support per se, but they feel like you deserve it. They want to show you that they can be an asset, that they can be a resource. They want you to see that they're also very clever, and that they also can have their own way of doing things. They might also have like questions that they wish they could ask you that they haven't had the opportunity to. They're definitely very curious about you. Oh, will you make me a true priority? I feel like this person sees you as being someone who has very lofty ambitions. And because of that, I mean, they are so enthralled and so in love with you, but they're just wondering if there is a feeling here of, will I ever be enough? Would I ever be the priority to you that you are to me? Maybe you're too high maintenance for me. Yeah, kind of similar energy that we've gotten. Like they feel like it would take a lot of work. You're definitely worth it, but it's almost like they feel like you wouldn't stoop down to their level, because they see themselves as being beneath you, and they think maybe you think of them that way, which may not be the case, but this is their perspective. And the song for you is Jonas Brothers' Cake by the Ocean, which to me is like, I mean, there's a double entendre. I'm hoping we'll eat cake by the ocean. It's like a reference to a certain sexual act, but also to like marriage, like eating wedding cake by the ocean. So waste time with a masterpiece. Don't waste time with a masterpiece. You should be rolling with me. You're a real life fantasy, but you're moving so carefully. Yeah, they feel like you're so careful and so sort of like aloof and distant. They're like, let's just take a risk here. Let's start living dangerously. Talk to me, baby. They definitely love to talk to you. I'm going blind from this sweet, sweet craving. Let's lose our minds and go fucking crazy. I keep on hoping we'll eat cake by the ocean. Walk for me, baby. They might like watching you walk away, too. I'll be your Diddy, you'll be Naomi. Let's lose our minds and go fucking crazy. I keep on hoping we'll eat cake by the ocean. So yeah, any final thoughts on this connection? This person, I feel like, wants to marry you, but I'm curious about this. Like, it almost feels like they think you disdain them or something at some level. Like, they must think that you're attracted to, but so let's tell, what is that all about? They do have lots of worries and anxieties. So I feel like some insecurity of feeling good enough. And that makes them kind of hesitate maybe to really tell you how they feel or to reach out to you. But they're thinking about it a lot. Is it a level of insecurity that would get in the way of the two of you? I think once the emotions are expressed, or once there's more like a, if you haven't seen this person in a while or talked to them or whatever, like once the ball gets rolling with the communication, I feel like it will feel much more lighthearted. And actually there is a very strong possibility of this leading to a very significant connection. I think if you got together in a relationship with this person, most likely it would lead to marriage. I mean, we have the Hierophant coming up twice and Cake by the Ocean. I mean, yeah. So yes, I don't think it will get in the way here. I feel like there's still a very strong potential that this could work out. They're just having like normal human feelings of like, am I good enough? And wondering if you think that they're good enough. I think that's their major concern. Like, do you think that I'm good enough for you? I'm not sure. Yeah, but once you start getting to the point of like expressing things more openly and honestly about your feelings and interest in each other, and I think it will come from them first, then I feel like it's just like, yeah, it's like the momentum builds and it's just very strong. A strong, very good, positive potential here. Definitely. So that was a great reading. I really hope that that was helpful to you. I think it, just like in in pile number 1, I think it answered more than just the original question of why they fell for you. It seems like it also gave you some sort of insights just into the situation itself and what's going on in this person's mind and what the potential is moving forward. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I always like it when the reading gives you, like a full experience, clarity, maybe insights that you weren't aware of. So guys, if you want to stay in contact with me off of YouTube, I have a newsletter that the next edition of that will be coming out at the end of June. So just click the link in the description box below if you're interested and sign up for that. There will be significant discounts on personal readings and all of my newsletters, also freebies. This, this deck that I used in the reading, it will be a freebie in this next newsletter that you can just print off. I printed it off on cardstock at FedEx Kinko's for less than $3. And so if you feel like that's something that you would like to have. Also, in that upcoming newsletter, you'll be able to, only my newsletter subscribers will be able to get a reading in exchange for purchasing anything off of my Amazon wish list. And, I think a lot of the things on my wish list are like $10, $15. So there's some very decently priced things there, and you can get a reading for that, which is much less expensive than what my readings normally cost. So I hope that you'll sign up for that. And thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Hello, reading number 3, people. I'm just lighting some Palo Santo to clear the energy from reading number 2. So far, these readings have just brought forth lots of insights and clarity. So and in both of the readings so far, we've answered not only the original question of why did they fall for you, but just like it's given a lot of information beyond that. So I think that will probably be the case for you guys as well. The card that you chose, and this is from this beautiful deck by one of my viewers, Ship. It's the Adinkra Oracle cards. And the one that you chose, this image here, means Child of the Heavens, star. And it says it's a beautiful card indicating hope, healing, renewal, and a new path. You may receive help from an unexpected source. The star is the star of hope and is here to guide and inspire you, to show you that as difficult as things have been, you have now come out of the other end and things will get better. So it might be that this person views you as a very inspirational person who gives them hope and comfort. But this also could be a message from your own guides that if this has been a difficult connection, or if you just have had a difficult life, this could be even a new person. So maybe you don't have a difficulty with them, but they're just saying that things will get better in your life and or in this connection. So let's see what else we've got. We've got Sanctuary, Farewell to the Moon. I feel that you are probably single because these are very like sort of isolated energies so far here. Yeah, it could be that you've been really looking for signs or symbols that things will improve in your life. You might just be feeling very alone right now. And maybe at a certain level you enjoy that, but at another level you're looking for like, when is love going to come to me? But in terms of like why they fell for you, I feel like they see you as very intriguing. They see you as someone who's very powerful on your own. Like, you might feel a little bit lonely, but they just see you, I think, as someone who needs a lot of personal space. You're sort of very mysterious. You're not someone who allows everyone to see everything about you. They might feel like you are someone who, is not afraid of shining or being the star. You're not afraid of taking leadership. They could see you as very ambitious, career-focused, and they like that about you. A type A personality, so you like things to be your way. You have a distinct way of doing things. Yeah, you can... This is interesting. You might be someone who is an introvert and you spend a lot of time alone, but when you are around people, you're like, listen, I need this to be my way. This is the way that we're going to do it. But they like those different aspects of your personality. And I almost feel like for some of them, they don't know about this solitary part of you because all they see is the more public part of you, that when you are around people, like, you're a leader, you're not afraid to speak up, you're definitely not shy, but they might not be aware of how kind of solitary you are as well. Some of them are, and they appreciate that you have this dual nature, and some of them, they just are not even aware of that, because this might be sort of more of a new love. They like the way that you adorn yourself, so it could be with jewelry or just the way that you style or present yourself. You know what I mean by that, like the way you beautify yourself. They also feel like you're very intelligent. So I pulled one shadow card for each of the piles. This one says foolish. I don't think this happens to be about you, though. I feel like this person feels like they've been foolish as it comes to you. I sort of feel like for a lot of you, the two of you don't really even know each other that well. Yeah, you don't see everything about each other. I think both of you don't really see or know a lot about the other person, but there's an interest. But it's a very quiet interest. Like, it's not like people are wanting to just plunge right in. Maybe neither of you are even really ready for something serious right now. It's almost sort of like this person wants to share their sadness with you. They want to get to know you better, but it's like they want to share their sadness with you and for you to share your sadness with them. But they maybe, because they've been so hurt and broken by life as well, they don't know how to get close to anyone. I feel like both of you have a real trouble with emotional intimacy and like letting people in, getting close to another person. I feel like this person also is still like maybe getting over some heartbreak from the past. Not necessarily that they want to still be with that person. I mean, maybe. It's more like they just feel worn down by life. And with this star card, you came into their life as someone who gave them hope that they could have feelings again. Maybe it's been a while since they've had significant feelings for someone. And so you renewed their hope and optimism that they could do that again. Okay, it says, I know you're right, but I need to come to my own conclusions. So it could, yes, that could be maybe they have done something foolish regarding you, or there's something that you disagree with them on, but they need to learn their own lessons, and they're not doing that. It's easier to just stay away right now. I just feel like both of you maybe are wanting to stay away from each other. I can't seem to find the right words to say to you. This is a very interesting reading so far. There's a lot of like, kind of like somber emotions. Like maybe the two of you have to kind of process your emotions separately from each other. There feels like a lot of sorrow here in this pile so far. We have the 6 of Diamonds. To a great mind, nothing is little. I feel like this person considers every detail about you. They analyze and overanalyze this situation and you. Man, or at least, these are from the Sherlock Holmes playing cards, by the way. Man, or at least criminal man, has lost all enterprise and originality. As to my own little practice, it seems to be degenerating into an agency for recovering lost lead pencils and giving advice to young ladies from boarding schools. I just feel that like there's like so much despondency here with this person. They have a very negative very negative view of everything. They see you as well as maybe someone who has carries a lot of sorrow. They do feel this connection. You are some sort of bright spot in their life because they feel a connection to you. But it's very like despondent. Like this is someone who doesn't feel very connected to life. Like the glimmer or the vitality of life, like they're losing touch, I feel like, with the reason for. They're like, why am I even here? Why are any of us here? It's very kind of existential and detached. What you do in this world is a matter of no consequence. The question is, what can you make people believe you have done? It's the 7 of Clubs, which is like the 7 of Wands. Yeah, this person really, it's hard for them to believe in goodness anymore. Like they've lost faith in humanity, I feel like, and kind of like lost faith in themselves. It's almost like they don't even believe that people are good anymore. And they might feel like you feel similarly, that you've kind of lost faith in people. And maybe that's why they see you as a bright spot. They're like, well, at least someone else out there is questioning this. It's like they've almost even lost the ability to question anymore. They just accept it. Like life is pointless. People are pointless. People don't matter. You know, like true substance doesn't seem to matter anymore. It's just what you look like. And it really gets this person down. I feel like, you know, we do live in a world that is very self-indulgent and kind of like narcissistic, where it is like that, you know, with social media. It's just like, what does it look like you're doing with your life? It becomes more important than, are you actually a good person? Like if you can convince people you're a good person, that seems to be more important in this day and age than actually being a good person. I feel like that really bothers this person, but at the same point, they have observed that in the world so much that they're at a point where they're like, well, I just don't even care anymore myself. Like, why should I care? It doesn't seem to matter if I care or not. The world just continues to go to hell in a handbasket. So, but yeah, I feel like maybe they love you because there's a feeling that you are a kindred spirit, but at the same time, it's like, I don't feel any energy of actually trying to get closer to you. You have the Fool card coming up again, and then there was Foolish. I do feel like they want to pull themselves out of this. So maybe you do. We have stars up above this Fool's head. Like, maybe sometimes you do give them that glimmer of hope that I can pull myself out of this and things can be better. Yeah, they feel like you could sort of like lead them towards a better understanding that even though life is very hard, and they see that it's hard for you, and that maybe you also have maybe these sort of existential, hopeless thoughts and feelings, that Like, at the same time, it's like you have this sort of tenderness that maybe you could make it feel less harsh to them. All of this difficulty, this stupid, superficial world that we live in, maybe somehow you could make it better to them. They like that energy that you have. Yeah, that it makes them, gosh, there's just a lot of feeling of depression here on both parts. They want to be able to be a comfort for you as well. We have this card from my emotions deck, and this is like not one of the actual emotion cards, but it says no here, and it's about making a yes or no decision. I feel like they feel very indecisive here. They're torn about, would it be good to pursue this, or would it not? They feel like being with you would lead them out of this depression, I feel like, and to feel more free and liberated, unburdened. It's like you make them feel like they could be uncaged and really like reach for the sky somehow. But they also feel like there's something about your energy that even if they chose not to pursue this, you guys might not actually know each other very well. This might be someone who you just kind of like know from a distance, or you know of each other, but you haven't really talked to each other. It's sort of like they do feel indecisive because they also feel like either way they go, if they continue to sort of pay attention to you and your energy, you strengthen them either way. So maybe that's why they're indecisive. They feel like you both have sort of like a strong masculine energy, and but you balance each other out. Your masculine traits sort of balance each other out. They do feel like there could be the potential here for something long-lasting, but it is something that if you were to have a relationship, there would be a lot of freedom here, which they appreciate, but it's like freedom that's respect, not like, how should I describe this? The Star card again. They just feel that there's a lot of love here that could help each of you sort of pull out of these more depressed, pessimistic way of thinking. Maybe they feel like if you all got closer to each other, you could both free each other of this pessimistic mindset or this depression, and like kind of inspire both of you to be more hopeful and optimistic. They feel like if they were in a relationship with you, you would both really respect each other and not try to like cage the other person. There's like a mutual respect that they feel is very strong. But they also feel like there's a path of healing that the two of you would be able to give each other and go down. And they're not sure maybe if they're emotionally ready to take that path of healing. Like they want to be healed. They want to feel better and to feel more optimistic and hopeful about life. But there's a part of them that's resisting it as well. Appreciation. I appreciate the unique ways other people show their love rather than compare their ways with my ways. Then I appreciate myself for maturely putting up with people who just can't seem to show love the normal, obvious, universally accepted way. Good job, both of us. Yeah, so they feel like both of you really appreciate each other, but you also have differences. And it's like you can really appreciate and respect each other's differences. Maybe that's what all of this freedom is here, that like you might have different viewpoints about things, or want to do different things with your life, or have different visions of what you want to create or what you would want the world to be like. ideally or something, but it's like there's a mutual respect here and appreciation of each other regardless. So they would feel free to still be themselves and think the way that they think and want what they want. They don't feel like you would force them that they have to think or feel in a certain way, and they really appreciate that. They have thought about commitment with you, or, they've definitely considered that very strongly, and they do feel like if the two of you became committed, it would be long lasting. They do have like a flood of emotions for you, but a lot of those, it says tears of sorrow or joy. I feel like they've had both. You've also allowed this person to have some sort of significant emotional release. I think also that this is someone who's had like a significant heartbreak in the past. You may have helped them to sort of release some of the burden of that they hadn't been able to let go of as well. And they really appreciate that. They have a lot of secrets, and they feel like you are someone that they would be safe to share those secrets with. They're attracted to the fact that you're very mysterious, that there's a lot that they don't know about you, and they want to open that book that is you and get to know you. They know that you don't allow people to do that much, though. I feel like the grasshopper too is sort of like the Fool card, which we keep seeing that energy here. They feel like they need to take a step in either direction. Either they need to say no, this is probably not something I should pursue, not because they're not interested in you, but maybe I should pursue a different path. I feel like they just feel like they need to go ahead and make a decision, but they're just kind of not sure what decision to make. I feel like they're sort of waiting for the decision to make itself in a way. They also are I think this is someone who's just naturally sort of suspicious. They know that they act sometimes in self-interested ways, and they see that this is just a very common way for people to be in the world in general. And so I feel like they have this almost like this paranoia or distrust, both of themselves and of you and just of everyone, and that also kind of holds them back from doing anything. They might just feel like they just need to be who they are. You need to be who you are, and it isn't because there's a lack of interest. It's more like this person is still trying to figure themselves out. I feel like they're trying to find themselves. So even though they feel like you sort of inspire them, or you could inspire each other, maybe part of it is they're not sure if it would be right to put that burden on each other. I've been a bit superficial. I'm trying to overcome that. Yeah, so that might be an issue here as well. Superficial or just self-interested maybe. They don't like being superficial because we saw that from the very beginning. They feel like the world is too superficial and they hate that. So it's like they have this self-loathing even of themselves. Anytime they feel like they're falling into that, kind of, narcissistic way of being, putting yourself first. They know that they can and do that. They know that everyone does that, but they hate it about themselves. Oh, I want to grow old with you. Yeah, they definitely, have had those thoughts, with the Ring card, the Ten of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. They definitely have thought about longevity with you. Certain songs make me think of you. Interesting. And the final card we have is a song oracle. So I'm going to assume that this is a sign that this song, if they've heard it or if they did hear it, it would make them think of you. And it's John Mayer, New Light. I'm the boy in your other phone, lighting up inside your drawer at home all alone, pushing 40 in the friend zone. We talk and then you walk away every day. Oh, you don't think twice about me, and maybe you're right to doubt me. they doubt themselves. So if they think you doubt them, then they're like, yeah, you have every reason to. Maybe you're right to doubt me, but if you give me just one night, you're going to see me in a new light. Yeah, if you give me just one night to meet you underneath the moonlight, oh, I want to take two, I want to break through, I want to know the real thing about you. We got that before, that they do want to know more about you. So I can see you in a new light. Take a ride up to Malibu. I just want to stay to look at you. What would it matter if your friends knew? Who cares what other people say anyway? Oh, we can go far from the end and make a new world together. Interesting, because they want the world to be a better place. They think that you want to be the world to be a better place. So they feel like you relate to each other on that level, but there's this sort of pessimism that maybe the world just can't be better. Maybe it's just the world is just fucked up and that's just the way it's going to be. But so I feel like there was something else that this made me want to say. Yeah, who cares what other people say? That might have to do with the superficial part of it, that they feel like other people might judge this. They care about that, but they don't want to care about it. And they also think maybe you care about what other people think. And they're like, yeah, let's just not care, let's just get close to each other and maybe we could pull each other out of this despondency and create some better world somehow, if it's possible, So anyway, that was an interesting reading. I hope that made sense for you. If you didn't already hear me say this, I'm trying to get people to subscribe to my newsletter because there are so many benefits to you, and I feel like it's such a great way for us to keep in contact with each other off of YouTube as well. So if you're interested in that, there will be some significant discounts and freebies and wisdom in each of those newsletters. They just come out 4 times a year at the start of each of the 4 seasons. So the next one's coming up at the end of June at the summer solstice. It already feels like we're in summer, right? But technically summer hasn't started yet. So find that link in the description box. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.